So in this video, we're going to talk about recording and editing snow profiles on the Snowscope web app. So the Snowscope web app, right, it is basically the same as the Snowscope mobile app. All the data is linked from one to the other. So you'll see profiles that you create on one on the other. And most of the functionality is basically the same. So if you're familiar with the mobile app, this will seem pretty straightforward. But there are some important differences. So we're going to start with creating a new Snowpit profile first. So come down to the bottom, click this plus button, click Snowpit. You're taken to your Snowpit recording page. So on the left here, we're going to have where our actual profile lives, and on the right, we'll have kind of the associated location and Swag and Ogres information about that profile. So I probably have, I'm at home, I'm on my computer, so I probably have a notebook here that I'm referencing some of this data out of. First thing I'm going to do to start my profile here is type in a snowpack height. I don't have to do a snow pit depth if I don't want to, if it's not different. So that's going to bring up my profile view. As soon as I add a layer here by clicking this plus button, I'm going to have this table pop in as well. So that's going to be layer information that's shown on the side. And that's different than the mobile app. So there's no extra menu to click into to look at layer information. So I'm going to just start by recording my layers, layer heights. I can click and drag. I can also type depths in here if I want to be a little more precise. Right, so yeah, let's go 105 to 130. Cool. And then I can also, if I want to just move the top or bottom of a layer, if I click on a layer, you'll see these little yellow squares moving, showing what part of the layer I'm selecting. If that's hard to do, if it's a thin layer, so let's come back up here. Let's make this one pretty thin. If it's hard to actually click on that layer, I can use this little selector icon on the side to go up and down layers, and then I can use the square button to choose what side of that layer I'm picking. Just change a few things here. Oh, accidentally made that one too wide. Let's put that back down to a centimeter. Okay, perfect. So now I have all my layers defined. Maybe I want to add some information about them. So to do that, I'll just come into this layer info table on the side here, and I can just start clicking in boxes that I want to add information to, and just use these drop-down menus to add all kinds of layer information. So grain form, grain size, density. So some of these are typed fields. Some of them are selected from a drop-down. I'm not going to go through all this because it's a lot of information. Let's say I actually wanted to add an additional layer in here. I forgot my weak layer. And come in here, I can just click the plus, add a layer. And this layer is actually that's going to be the one I'm concerned about. So I can highlight that as a layer of concern. Let's say that's some faceted crystals. And I'm going to say this is, maybe I click there. Maybe it's just a localized layer in this pit. So that popped in as my notes. Let's tag it. Let's just say, it's a December facet layer. So this name field, I can create a new name, or I can use names that I've already created in pits. And so if I want to track a layer over time and tag layers in multiple pits with that same name, I can do that with this name field, which can be pretty useful. Notes is more, things that are specific to this profile or things that are just interesting about that layer. So I go through, whatever. I add a bunch of random grains here and other information to my pit. Next, maybe I want to create, add some test results. We're here, click this plus test result button. It's going to default that depth to below whatever layer is highlighted at the time. And so if I come in here, let's say I did a PST, which would be kind of weird at this layer, but Can add that information. It pops in there. I can add, let's say I did 2 test results on that failed on that same location. I got an ECTP first. Come in here, add taps, same depth. Both of those will pop up there. If I, realized I made a mistake, wanted to edit that, I could just click on this test result. I have 2 test results here. So let's say I wanted to edit the ECT. Actually, that was, 25 taps, and it was an N, not a P. Save that. And then, I can also do things like, oh, this layer is actually not there. Let's remove it. So I can edit the pit in that way as well. So kind of all the tools you're familiar with from the mobile app, you can do on the web app here, just a bit of a different format. And then also, as opposed to the mobile app, which has a tab view to swap between this pit view and your additional information, on the web app, it's all on the same screen. So I can add context, dependent information here too. Your elevation's not going to auto-populate on the web just because of how the location APIs work. On mobile, your phone can get elevation. On web, you'd have to, if you started from scratch here, you'd have to actually, input your elevation. And if you're seeing feet and you want meters, that can be changed in user settings as well. But right, I can come in here, I can do all my weather obs. Just say it was raining. I can come in, give us a surface grain. And yeah, this surface grain is something that some people, it's not obvious that it's down here because all the other grains are up here. But surface grain is its own field on the side here. So just look out for that. You can add comments, and then this practice bit checkbox. So make sure you check that if you're just messing around with the app or trying it out, because we don't want this data getting confused with the real data that other people would look at. So that's most of it. I guess the final thing, temperature profile, come back up to this top left. If you switch between layer mode and temperature mode, then adding points adds temperature profile points. And, I can always type in to change this as well to get more exact values. So I'm not going to do it all. That's pretty good. And then finally up top here, I can choose the privacy setting of this pit. So if I just want to share it, if I want to be private to myself, I want to be private to my organization. Both these are only available with pro subscriptions or public, which if you don't have a pro subscription, you're not even going to see this. So we'll keep this one private because it's just a test. And yep, then we can save our pit. And this is now saved. It's uploaded to the cloud. So now if I looked at it on my mobile device, I would be able to see this pit now. If I go back here, see my filters are not set to my location where I am. So let's go to me. Let's go to global view because this pit, I'm in Utah right now. So yep, and then I can see my pit. So that's how you create a snow pit on the Snowscope web app. Thanks for watching.